Why is this happening simultaneously now in all these major cities, Craig?
It feels like it's a product of all the economic uncertainty that's out there. I mean, you've got Brexit in London, in New York, you've got mansion taxes, discussions about pied-à-terre taxes, and it's becoming harder to move the money out of some of these markets. So in Russia, it's more difficult to move the money out. That's boosting the prices in Moscow. The Chinese are trying to keep the money in their country. You've got the uncertainty in Hong Kong. That's pushing up prices in Taipei. And then you've got Vancouver, London, and New York all down, I think, because it's just more difficult in some of these places to buy these homes. And all the governments in these places have taken steps to sort of go after these foreign buyers, the wealthy buyers, to generate more tax revenue.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of that, and generate more cash flow also, Craig, to avoid distortions, right, in the domestic market because there's so much global capital sloshing around. One thing that jumped out at me about your story was this notion that there may be developers who started big projects predicated on a stronger market. Are we going to see some real dislocations out there?
We're seeing that in New York already, to be quite frank. I mean, it's an interesting thing in the real estate market where these projects get announced and then it takes several years to build them, 4 or 5 years. So you're seeing right now in New York a bunch of luxury condos that were built kind of in the heyday of, or excuse me, announced in 2013, 2014. Now they're coming online in a very, very different market for luxury real estate. So that's a big thing because you announce a project and several years later you build it and things change in that time.
So just in terms of the effect this can have, we know that real estate is a massive portion of most of our economic wealth and the generation of wealth. Are we looking at data here that you would say starts to point to concern? We need to worry about a slowdown, or is this just a cooling of what had been very hot?
I think it's a cooling of what had been very hot, to be perfectly honest. And we're talking about really the upper crust here. This is luxury real estate, sort of wealthy buyers. But it does speak, I think, more to kind of the global economic uncertainty and just how, you know, the flow of global capital around the globe and how that's changed when you think about things like Brexit, what's going on in Hong Kong, efforts in New York to tax these people, efforts in Canada, you know, that's slowed down the markets in Vancouver and Toronto. So really the interesting thing to me here is just how capital is moving around the world and how that's changed.